Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures. I'm Sam, an English guy living in the provincial city of Vladimir in Russia. Now, I've been asked loads and loads of times, Sam, can you make a video explaining how the Russian medical system works? How does it compare to the US system? Well, I'm not American, so I don't really know anything about the US system, but I can tell you how the Russian medical system works, how it applies to you as a foreigner, and how it works as a Russian too. So let's go for it. So initially, when you come to Russia as a tourist or on a business visa or as a student, then you're going to require initially your own medical insurance from outside of Russia. So you'll get that medical insurance, you know, in your own country to allow you to travel to Russia. And that's going to be what you're going to use to start with. Now, if you come here to work, then it's a little bit different. But to start with, you want to get insurance to come to Russia initially before you start work, in case you lose your bags in the airport or something happens to you along the way. So I'm just walking around my neighborhood in case you wondered where I am and what I'm doing. A little evening stroll. We've had loads and loads of thunderstorms. It's been crazy the last 3 or 4 days. We've had hot days and then thunderstorms. This has to be the best zebra crossing ever. Wonder how much the signs cost, and if anyone is ever gonna need to stand here and wait for cars to go by. There's one house at the end of the road. Also, this has to be the funniest sign ever. Look at the size of the road. Like, there's only possible for one car to go down the road at a time, and yet we've got a no overtaking sign. So if you're a student, one of the requirements once you come to Russia is to get your medical insurance. With a student visa, you'll be given 3 months to enter to Russia, basically. Your visa will be 3 months, and then it'll be extended once you're here for the length of your course. So at that point, you'll need to go and get medical insurance, where you can get paid medical insurance inside Russia. It's not very expensive, and that'll cover you in case, well, anything bad happens. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. So once you start moving up the residency ladder, or you come to Russia to work, well, it starts to change a bit now. And there's 2 types of policies that you'll need to get if you're going to work in Russia, or if you're a resident, or if you're obviously a Russian citizen. The first one is called obligatory, I can't say it. The first type of insurance is called obligatory medical insurance. And this basically covers you for anything that happens to you when you're in Russia. Anything you need, you're covered. But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail as to when you're going to use that, because you're not going to use that for everything. If you get a little scratch on your knee or something, you're probably not going to use your obligatory medical insurance. The second document that you'll need is your individual insurance number. Now, both of these documents, the obligatory medical insurance and the individual insurance number, can be applied for in a place called MFITSI, which is a multifunctional, let me get this right, MFITSI, multifunctional center, I think that's what it's called. It's like, yeah, just like a place that you go to get all of your documents done. Everything you can think of, from medical insurance to passports to registration, pretty much everything. I want you to think of it like this. It's like a kid outgrowing your trousers. Once you become a resident, or you're working in Russia, or from then onwards basically, you will have your obligatory medical insurance and your individual insurance number, and the rules will be slightly different for you. So you can, at that point, if you want, continue with private medical insurance. Everybody's got the right to have private medical insurance, and some people do, some people don't. It's a complete choice. So that's the insurance covered. Now, whether you have private insurance or whether you have Russian state insurance, it doesn't really make any difference. They're just different types of policies, but then they cover pretty much everything else. And I'm going to explain now what is covered by that medical insurance. So to start with, in Russia we have polyclinics. Now, polyclinics are the places you go to for little medical tests. If you need to get your COVID injection, or let's say you're feeling a bit ill, you just want to go and see the doctor, then you go to a polyclinic. Now, there's other things you can do in the polyclinic, like scans, MRI scans and things like that. And the polyclinic is like the things that are not required for the hospital. So it's the first stage. Now, as well as the polyclinic, we've got private polyclinics. They're just called like private medical centres. And so if you have a little illness, or something's wrong, you need to go to a doctor, maybe you've got an infection on your foot, or I don't know, problems with, you've got pain in your chest. There's not obviously a heart attack pain, but maybe your spine's hurting or something like that, right? Then you can go to a private medical clinic or to the polyclinic. I always find it interesting to see the difference in these electricity cables in different countries. I was scared of them when I was younger, when I was a kid. Check out the Chinese car, so many of these now. A few of my friends have got them. I'm gonna have to do a review on my friends' cars. And so we're overdosing on road signs here. Look at that, that's a great zebra crossing, that one. As if anyone's gonna be waiting here at the zebra crossing. I should try it one day and stand here at this zebra crossing and wait for a car to come and then walk over. That's hilarious. So the polyclinic is pretty much similar to the doctors, I'd say, going to the doctors. But the clinic, the polyclinic itself, is actually pretty big, and quite often they have like places that you can stay in. So you could stay in the polyclinic for 2 weeks, right? They've got beds in there, and they look after, I guess, people that are not required to go to the hospital, so less serious illnesses. Now, because it's just a polyclinic and you're not really going there for like a major surgery or anything like that, the actual money that it costs as a foreigner to go to the polyclinic is pretty low indeed. So it's unlikely that you'd use your private insurance policy to go to the polyclinic. However, if you're a Russian citizen, or you work in Russia, or you have one of the residency stages, when you go to the polyclinic, they're going to ask for your individual insurance number and possibly your obligatory medical insurance, and it's just going to be free. So that's a good thing. I love these trees. I love the smell from these trees. This thing has fallen in the last couple of days since we had the thunderstorms. When I first came to Russia, I always had the feeling there was a beach nearby because there's sand everywhere. But there's no beach. It's just the amount of sand they throw down on the roads during winter to help, with the roads, to clean the roads from snow and ice. So this is my neighbor and my friend Vadim. He's well, this isn't him, this is his driveway here, what was of his driveway, what remains of his driveway, should I say. And there's his house. I think he's done a pretty good job. I'll give you a tour another day. I'm sure you won't mind. So the alternative to going to the polyclinic is to go to the private medical centre, and I typically go to the private medical centre. It doesn't cost much. The service is, well, it's just nicer. The people are generally nicer. Now, that's not to say that the people in the polyclinic are not nice, because they are, and often I try and find a way to have a chat with them, ask them questions about something. But the thing is with the polyclinic is, typically, it's not a kind of place where you have a specific time to come. So you just come in the morning, you'll see the kind of main administrator, and she'll say, right, go to cabinet or room number 26, and you'll go there and there'll be a queue of 30 people, and you can imagine what it's like to be a doctor and work in one of those rooms, right? They're tired. So I do prefer to go to a private clinic, because it's only going to cost you about like, I don't know, $20 for the visit to go to a doctor and find out what's wrong with you. And also the quality, I'd say, especially in the Vladimir region and probably within the regions, the quality of the equipment in private polyclinics is going to be better than the polyclinics that are run by the government. Having said that, there's going to be times when you're going to need, by law or by the rules, to go to the official kind of Russian polyclinic, and that's for things like, I don't know, let's say that you need medical documents for applying for residency or for your passport or for your driving license, or to go to sign up for the army, things like that. Then they're going to send you to the polyclinic that they recommend, which is the one for their area, and you're going to have to go there only. So the next is the dentist. If you need a dentist, who do you go to? The same thing applies. You can go to the Russian dentist, which is either located in a polyclinic or they'll have a separate dentist, or you can go to the private dentist. Now, I always go to the private dentist. It's a matter of choice. It's very cheap in Russia to go to the dentist, extremely cheap. The service is incredible. The quality is just absolutely insane. And you're looking at, you know, the other day I had 3 different times I had to go there. I had pain inside my tooth, my filling had fallen out. They took the filling out, they put some temporary sort of dressing in there to get rid of the infection. They sealed it up, and that cost something like $40. I then went back, they gave it a clean, left it for a few more days, sealed up again, it cost something like $25, and then I went back to have the main filling put on again, the proper full filling. They cleaned it all, they did the full filling, and it cost me something like $45. So about $130 for 3 visits to a private chemist, what am I talking to a private dentist. So next we've got hospitals, and again, hospitals are going to be covered by your insurance. Depending on what insurance you've got, you're still covered. So hospitals, in a sense, is free, right? Just like the polyclinics. So look here, someone's favourite seat is obviously to sit here by the bins. Obviously I'm joking, it's a broken seat. So the first time when I went to a Russian hospital, I had an infection on my foot. We think it was caused by socks we bought from a market, because 2 of my friends, 3 of us all together, we all had the same infection. And I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and because I was a foreigner and had just been in Russia for a very short amount of time, I was given the royalty treatment, really was. And they gave me my own room with my own shower with a TV. The insurance paid for it all. Now they probably charged the foreign insurance company a load of money, but that was how I was treated, and it was absolutely incredible. And I was actually, you know, even taking the piss. I was smoking cigarettes in the room. I feel really bad looking at that. And then the second time I called emergency, an ambulance came out because I had really bad pains in my chest and in my back, and it turned out that I had actually a what's the word I'm looking for, lung infection. Can you imagine, lung infection? And again, 2 weeks in hospital. I was put in a room with 2 people to start with, and then in the morning they came and said, we're going to move you to another room. I was like, oh no, I'm happy here. Because in Russia, in the hospital, you have like rooms where there's maybe 8 patients in altogether, and then you have rooms with 2 patients in. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go into that room with the 8 patients. No, again, they gave me my own room. It was crazy. Different hospital, but the same situation. So God was really looking out for me. Praise God. So what's the deal when it comes to medicine in Russia? Well, medicine in Russia is free to an extent. So if you go to hospital, everything that's used in the hospital is covered by your insurance, whether that's private insurance or the insurance that you get as a Russian citizen, or, you know, for having residency or whatever. But that insurance doesn't cost much, so it's pennies, right? If you're a Russian citizen, it's free. If you're a non-Russian citizen, that insurance costs you about, I don't know, $10 for a year, something like that. So yeah, it's virtually free. So with that insurance policy, you can go to a Russian hospital and everything that is used there is covered by the insurance. Now, at the same time, I've heard people say that for very serious illnesses, it's much better to purchase your own medicine, foreign medicine. I can't confirm that, but apparently it is better. And I know for some procedures, people like to go outside of Russia. Now, again, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. Now, I think if you need some sort of medicine that's just like you go to the polyclinic and you need some sort of medicine. Now, you could possibly get that medicine for free. I know that as a pensioner, you can get that medicine for free, but as a normal person, medicine doesn't cost much, right? Like literally nothing. So I never even ask. I always just go to the chemist and buy medicine because it's ridiculously cheap. In Russia, we have all foreign medicines and Russian medicines. Initially, when sanctions happened, there was a couple of weeks where the stores were running out, but the logistics just changed. We got the medicines through other countries and that's it. We got everything as we used to have in the past. In Russia, we also have sanatoriums. Very popular in Russia, like health farms that you can go to and have lots of health procedures done. Now, these are really, really popular. We have some towns that are specific that have loads and loads of sanatoriums. Very, very famous ones. I'll perhaps go and make a video there in the future. Now, at the end of our road, we have what is now very flooded since the thunderstorms, electric charging station. So this just goes to show how electric cars are now popular everywhere. So if you're a pensioner, you can use these sanatoriums for free if the doctor feels that you need to go to them. And sanatoriums are something that's like a leftover system from the Soviet Union, but they're very, very popular and very cool. There's some really, really amazing ones. You know, some of them are absolutely massive, but they're very relaxing, very nice. Check out these huge gas pipes. What do you think of them? Would you like to have them? I think they're better when they're buried underground, aren't they? Now, does the quality of healthcare differ from city to city? Yes, basically. If you're in a bigger city, then the chances are they're going to have better doctors because they're going to be better paid. A lot of people will actually make sure that they have their propiska. Now, their propiska is something that's very interesting. And when you come to Russia, you need to be registered in a certain address, okay? And so the Russian word for the registration is registratsiya or propiska. And some people will do their best to make sure that they are registered in the Moscow region, because in the Moscow region, apparently the hospitals, the doctors, everything's just loads better. So you'll get people who are quite wealthy, and what they'll do is they'll buy some sort of apartment in Moscow or the Moscow region, just to make sure that they're officially registered in the Moscow region. So if they need to go to a hospital, they can go to the hospital in Moscow and not in Vladimir, for example. Or if they need to go to a sanatorium, they can go to a sanatorium in the Moscow region. What do you think about this? Now, are they pairs? Is that what they're supposed to be? I wonder if the original owner had something else in mind. Now, I think that pretty much covers everything. If you have any questions about medical costs in Russia or the medical system in Russia, then hopefully this video has explained everything. But if not, put the question in the comments and I'll do my best to answer the best I can. Thanks a lot. Hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been beneficial for you. If you've enjoyed it, then hit the like button, leave me a comment and consider subscribing to my channel. You might want to join my Telegram chat group, completely free, where I share kind of daily life in Russia. I can take little photos and little videos on my phone and we have discussions about different things about life in Russia. You can join that, the link is below. And if you've found value in this video, if it's been beneficial for you and you want to buy me a coffee to say thanks, then you can click in the link below as well. Click the link below in the first comment below this video and you can buy me a coffee to say thanks. But that's completely up to you. Thanks very much and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.